So this morning, by God's grace, we'll be talking about financial abuses. I want to start by appreciating everybody who has been subscribing to our YouTube channel and sharing our post. I pray that God will bless you in Jesus' name. I encourage you to keep doing that, to keep subscribing, and let more people who have not done so, please kindly do so. God bless you as you do so in Jesus' name. Why do we need to do this? We need to be a positive voice for our friends and our neighbor around. Let's give a helping hand. Let's give a hand of support. I pray that God will help us in Jesus' name. Today we'll be talking about financial abuses and how to overcome them. Financial abuses and how to overcome them. Now, you don't need to allow yourself be a victim of financial abuses. Financial abuses are real. They happen in all forms of relationships, as you will see as time goes on. But you don't need to stay in that unhealthy space. You don't need to allow yourself be a victim. You don't need to allow somebody you know be a victim. That's why we are learning this. Once you recognize financial abuse and its abuses, you can learn how to overcome them. It's quite easy to overcome, but it can be a bit challenging to recognize. That's why we are doing this post, so that we can check ourselves, check our relationships, check our marriages, check our other interpersonal relationship, and ensure that this is not happening to us. And in case they are happening to us, we also know how to overcome them, how to solve them. Now, financial abuses can be hard to identify, like I said earlier on. At least in the beginning, at first, it could be a bit challenging to identify. This is because most times it's quite subtle. It looks very subtle, very quiet, very silent. Because most times it can come in form of caregiving. It can come of somebody being so protective of you. But it's important we learn that, however, when someone abuses you financially, they not only hurt you monetarily, they also take control of your life in a negative way. They are not just abusers. People that abuses other people financially do not only abuse you financially, they also abuse you monetarily. They also take over your life. They take control of your life in a very, very unhealthy and unsafe way. And that's why it's important we talk about it. The first step to overcoming financial abuse is to learn to recognize it. When you recognize it, it's easy for you to now begin to look for steps and begin to look for strategies to be able to use in overcoming them. Now, what is financial abuse? Financial abuse occur when someone takes control of your financial resources or prevent you from working so that they can control all the money. Now, how do I mean by that? Financial abuses can happen in marital relationships. I've heard of many relationships where their spouses, their husbands in particular, will not want the wife to work, and we don't want her to do anything. I'm not against a woman having to work from home. A woman can work from home, but for a woman to be deprived from working at all, from earning an income, is a type of abuse. So when people abuse other people, they put them in spaces that makes them to be unhealthy, that makes them to be totally dependent on the other party. So that's why we are looking at this. Now, financial abuse, when someone takes control of your financial resources or prevent you from working so they can control all the resources that come into the family. Since you are not working, they are working, so they have the larger say, they have the ultimate say, and that's one way of looking at it. They may limit your access. We are looking at how this definition can be easily identified. Victims are limited. The abuser will limit the victims from having access to cash, or they ask you to account for every penny you spend. Is a form of abuse. When you are not allowed access to resources, you are not allowed access to money, particularly even money that belongs to you, or money that is supposed to jointly belongs to the family, is a type of financial abuse. And sometimes they could even say, oh, because they don't want to have anything to do personally, they want you to give every account of every kobo, every naira, every dollar, every pound. Now, when you are saying that, is a form of abuse. Financial abusers sometimes tell you that they will take care of everything. You don't need to bother. They will take care of everything. They act as though they are doing you a favor. That's why it looks subtle. They want to take care of everything. They say, oh, don't worry, I'll handle everything. I'll handle the house rent. I'll handle the car. I'll do this. I'll handle that. It's a form of abuse. It's important that we have partners in relationship that are caring, that are willing to help meet the needs in a family. But it's also important that we do not kill the creative, imaginative powers that has been given to individuals, the potentials, the abilities for each person to be in control of their finances, bringing resources from both ends to make the family move forward. In some cases, they can even try to manipulate you until you become dependent upon them for financial survival. God is our ultimate source. He is the one that is providing for all of us. But for every man, every woman, we must link up to God to be our source. However, in that same space, God has given us abilities, potentials to combat. He's giving us resources, giving us time, giving us talent, giving us abilities, potentials, creative imaginations, and so many other, potentials that we could convert to resources. When a person is in a financially abused relationship, they are not allowed to explore those potentials that could give them resources, that could give them financial voice, that could give them stability in life. So such abusers encroach on you, forces you, and manipulate you to depend totally upon them for financial survival. When a person is in a financial abusive relationship, the woman cannot think for herself, the lady cannot think for herself. Sometimes it happens to men, they can't do anything by themselves. It has to be the other partner, it has to be the wife taking the lead for this, taking the lead for that, taking the lead for this. We are saying by this post, either you are a man or a woman, none of us should be abused in a relationship. I know this topic is more prevalent, and generally abuses are more prevalent among women. Women are most times the victim, but we are saying it could happen to men. To when it happens, what to do are the things we are looking at. Now, once these abusers have control over you, they may become more demanding and more intimidating. Now, we've said they make you so dependent upon them, even for your financial survival. You can't do anything without them. You can't think of anything. You can't eat. You can't clothe yourself. You can't take decisions. You can't do anything. You are totally dependent on them. Why do they do this? They do that so that they can be more demanding and more intimidating in their relationship with you. The goal of the abuser is to always gain power. You understand? To gain power to control the other party in a negative way. The gain of the goal of the abuser is to gain power, financial power, physical power, controlling power, to oppress and depress the victim. Some financial abusers may sometimes be less interested even in controlling. We've talked about that. They just want to get more resources to themselves, get more and more and more and more. They want to get resources for the hard-earned money of the other partner. All these things are not healthy spaces to be. These abusers, they will sometimes they act as if they are your best friend, and there are people that love you. They act as if they so much love you. Meanwhile, they act out cheating out on you on finances, on resources, on cash, and things that has to do with monetary values. They could use your credit card or your ATM card. They could use it without your permission. They promise to pay you back after they borrow from you. They do not pay you back. It's a form of financial abuse. They pocket your money. They keep pocketing what belongs to you to themselves. They accrue what belongs to you to themselves. Those are forms of financial abuses. These abusers may be trusted, once trusted partners. They could be friends, they could be roommates, they could be relatives, they could be spouses in a relationship. It's important that all these things are identified so that if you're in that space, you can know what to do. Financial abusers sometimes target elderly people. Some of our elderly ones who are older, they have people that are working with them as caregivers, people that give them support. Sometimes they have access to their financial assets, financial resources. Such people too can, if balance is not put in place, they could easily deviate and become an abuser to such elderly citizens in the area of their finances. It's not unusual for a person who has a targeted senior citizen to be named power of attorney so that they can act on behalf of their victims in business, legal and financial matters. Now, I've just explained that when you have older ones, elderly ones, that are much advanced in age, please let's watch over them so that people that are working closely with them, managing their finances, don't end up being abusers to them in the area of finances. I've heard of cases of elderly citizens that were even killed because people that were around them had access to resources they had, finances they had, and they felt the way to access the money is by killing them. That's very cruel, that's very wicked, and that's why when we begin to see little sign before it gets to terrible degrees, please let's pick up on time. We are saying the real challenge with with these abusers is that they are looking for economic interest. They want to get more. They want to get more to themselves. They want to get all, and sometimes they go beyond more. They want to get all and deprive the other party. Signs of financial abuse. If you know somebody or you are the person that is a victim that is in this kind of space, there is a good chance that someone has done one or the following to you. Now we are looking at specific activities. That's what we want to quickly run through now. Specific activities whereby any of these things could have happened or must have happened to you, so that you can quickly speak up. Hallelujah. Number one, are you in a relationship or have you gone through these experiences where money has been taken from your bank account, or somebody have used your ATM card or your credit card without permission, or through forced agreement or coercion? If you have been in this space or you know somebody that is in this space, that person is being abused, financially abused. We are looking at financial abuse today, and we are looking at specific activities that could be termed as somebody being abused financially. So if your ATM is used behind you, your PIN number can be used to access your phone or something, or access your app behind you without your permission, and your money have been taken from you, without proper permission, or through forced agreement or coercion, then you are being financially abused. Number two, have you been made to sign? Have your name been signed on the document? They sign your name on a loan, a check, or other financial document without your prior knowledge, or they tell you to sign things without allowing you to read the document. I think I've shared this before now, that whatever document you want to sign or somebody wants you to sign, please take time to read it. Even in marriage, read your document. In the offices, read your document and patiently read them. And if you have read them, you do not understand what the document is saying, please don't sign. Get a legal personnel, get a lawyer, get an attorney to help you to interpret it, or get people who are legally aware to help you to interpret the meaning of those statements. Never append your signature on any document you don't understand. Be sure you truly understood them. If you don't have time to read those documents, please don't read them. It's a counsel that will do you a lot of good. Hallelujah. So, but in case you are in a situation whereby you have signed your name on a loan, on a check, or other financial document without prior knowledge, or not allowing you to read through, patiently read through, and make up your mind if you want to sign or not, it's a sign that you have been financially abused before. Number three, has anybody made changes to your will or power of attorney without your permission? Your will, your assets, whatever it is that you own, have they made attempt to make changes on those things without your permission? It's a sign of financial abuse. Number four, have somebody promised to pay you bills that they are owing you, but they never followed through? I think many of us can relate with this. People that took money from you, borrowed money from you, but they never returned it back, is a sign of being financially abused. If you borrow money to people and they don't pay you back, you are being financially abused. That's why on this point, I would say don't borrow money to people that you are sure you can't get your money back. It's better you send them to the bank or financial institution where those institutions have right instruments to be able to reclaim their monies back. And that's why for you as a person too, you should put your money in savings, put them in investment where you cannot easily access them, so that abusers will not have access to them. So if people borrow money to, and if you are the person that borrowed money from anyone, please go and pay back, so that you are not termed as an abuser. Hallelujah. Then number five, take Somebody have taken control of your access to money. Somebody block you of access to money. You are not allowed to access resources, maybe from your organization where you are working. Money that are accrued to you are not given to you, or in a family what belongs to you, you are not allowed to access them. They block you of money. They block you allowing access to resources, to finances. Then you are financially being abused. Number six, some of these people have they damaged your credit scoring, maybe in banks or before people. When they damage your, your credit scoring or credit rating, is a form of being financial abuse. Number seven, they borrow money from you without paying back. We've talked about that. When you borrow money, please be sure you will pay before you borrow. If the interest is too much, that's why you should seek a financial consultant before you take any resources, maybe for your business or for other things you want to do. Never, as much as possible, be restrictive in borrowing money. And when you do borrow, please learn the terms properly before you take the resources, so that you are not seen as somebody that is abusing another person, and you are not under financial burdens to fulfill something you don't have capacity to fulfill. But when you are borrowed, please pay back, and pay back on time. Number eight, you are expected to pay their bills. When you are in a financially abusive relationship, the abuser expects the victim to pay their bills. You are expected to pay their bills or bail them out of trouble that they've caused by themselves, something that could have been avoided. You are the one that have to bear the brunt and bail them out of those situations. When you are in that kind of relationship or a situation whereby other people get into trouble at your detriment, you have to always fish them out, always pay their bills, always do this, then you are in a financially abusive relationship. Number nine is that when you are pressured to quit a job, or you are prevented from going to work so that you do not have funds. This is very, very key. You are prevented, you are pressured to quit your job, or you are prevented from going to work so that you do not have funds. As such, you have to depend on them for everything. I think I've seen it, as I mentioned this again. Let's just buttress this a little bit. I've seen a number of women in this space. It's important that we take care of our family. Most times, in marital relationships, the reasons why husbands give for wives not to work is so that they can take care of children. And I love children too, and I believe children should be taken care of. But there are so many things you can do from home. A woman can work from home or work in environments that are closer home, so that she can still have access to her children and take care of her children. Even the children we are talking about, they go to school. What happened between 12 and between 8 a.m. in the morning and 2 p.m. or 1 p.m., 2 p.m., that the children will be back at home. The woman can engage herself in this space and work with her time. She can even work from home. There are so many online businesses that women can do. You can do a lot of trading, a lot of support, from home. It's a financially abusive strategy for a man to tell the wife not to work. It's even beyond the finances. It's beyond the money she wants to make. She will not be able to use her creative ideas, creative imagination, and all that. I've heard the stories of a lot of women that their husband died, and because of that demise of the man, the family began to suffer. The same children we say we are protecting, that was why we didn't allow the woman to work in the first place. They now become laughing stock. They begin to suffer around. They can't go to school again. The woman can no longer get funding. Family and in-laws come, take over things that belong to the, and so many messy situations. It's a financially abusive relationship for a woman to be found in this kind of space. So when you are pressured to quit your job or prevented from working so that you do not have resources, you do not have money, you do not have funds. As such, you have to depend totally for everything on the other spouse. You are being financially abused. Number 10, when when the abusers hide money from the victim, they hide funds from you, but they insist that your income must be shared by them, but they refuse to share their own. I hope you understand that. They do not want to share. They hide what they have from you. They don't disclose what they have. They hide their own, but they said the little you have must be shared by them. But they're refusing to share what they have. Now that is you are looking at somebody that is in a financially abusive relationship. 11 is that they refuse to work or contribute financially, but insist that large and joint purchases be made in their own names alone. What is this point talking about? That such abusers, they refuse to work or they refuse to contribute financially to the family or to the relationship. They refuse to work, they refuse to or sometimes they are working, but the money they get from the various businesses they do, they refuse to contribute it financially into the family account. When that happens, you are being financially abused. Now another thing that happened under this point is that when you are in a relationship whereby the abusers or a party tells you that everything that is acquired in that family must be in their names alone, then you are being abused financially in that relationship. Ideally, the things that are acquired in a family should belong to both parties. I don't want to go fully into that aspect. People have different beliefs. Some people believe husband and wife should run joint accounts. Some believe you should run joint finances. Some believe you should run contributories, contributing whatever. They divide the duties. You do this, I do this. Now, whatever works for both parties is important. Important is they sit down and discuss what is best for them. And once they have discussed that, they stick to the arrangement. If the arrangement is no longer favorable, or is no longer working, either party or both party could call a meeting, a dialogue between. I'm talking about husband and wife now in a marital relationship. They come together to seek opinion of each other, and whatever they acquire, they belongs to both party. But when a party says everything that is acquired in that marriage, in that family, should be for him alone or for her alone, then somebody is abusing somebody. Then another one we look at is that they steal your identity. That's the 12th one. Under the stealing of identity, people that are being abused are impersonated. Such people, the victims are impersonated when it comes to the issue of funds. Anything that has to do with resources, this abuser want to be the one handling the fund, handling the resources, handling all those things. We are saying this is not right. Both parties should be brought into it. Even if one person will handle it on behalf of the other, it should be with the mutual consent, mutual agreement, genuine agreement of both parties. How do you get help? With what we have done now, we've looked at various scenarios. We cannot exhaust them. There are much more, but few that we can do in this post we have done. Now, how do you come out of this? How do you overcome it? Or if you know somebody that is in need, somebody you love, how do you help the person? Hallelujah. So we'll quickly run through that. Number one way to overcome financial abuses, number one very good way, is that you seek the humble and peaceful means of dialogue with the person involved. If any of the activity we talked about, any of the scenarios we painted look like you, any of them or a number of them, a combination of them look like your scenario or your reality, we are saying the way to come out of it, number one, is to seek the avenue of peaceful dialogue. Call the person involved. The person may not be aware. The person may not know. Sometimes they don't know the extent of the effect of what they are doing on you. So let's seek that first opportunity of seeking humble, peaceful means of dialogue with the person involved. There are few cases where this have been seen to work. So when you dialogue with the person, oh, this is how I feel when you do this. This is how I feel when I'm put into this situation. This is how I feel by not working. This is how I feel by not having access to my own resources. This is how I feel about the finances of the family. These are my suggestions. Both of you should sit down as a family, as a people, as lovers, and discuss it. Don't hide about it. And it's not something to be ashamed about. It doesn't make you materialistic. It doesn't make you to be a gold digger. You understand? It's your right, and you have a right to discuss about it. So seek the peaceful and humble dialogue means about it. Sit down together, discuss it. There are few cases, like I said earlier on, where this has really worked. But you must know that there are cases where dialogue does not work. Reason is because most financial abusers, those ones that are real abusers, don't change or never stop by themselves. They have to be forced to stop. There have to be some other stiffer measures for them to stop. So if you have tried that a number of times, it's not working. Then number two, what do you do? There are more things to do. Number two of that, if the dialogue is not working, the peaceful discussion is not working, number two thing to do is that you should get help from sound counselors and financial therapists. That's where our own office come in. Get support, get counseling, get help. Speak up while you are still living, while you are still alive. Don't let that get you into depression or make you get traumatized. Speak up on time. Speak to professional counselors, financial therapists who can bring you into help in that area. Our office run the Eternal Wellness and Beauty Limited. We offer such support. You may have to pay. Is a paid support, but there are some other support that we could give to you that comes for free. We'll let you know the one that has to be paid for, the one that will be free. So it's important you speak up and get help. Recover what belongs to you. Don't just keep quiet. Don't just keep mute. Things don't change if you don't speak up and you don't seek for help for things to change and improve. Then number two, even if still on this number two, even if you're okay, let me just explain this. Now, most times, people that are involved in domestic violence and other cases of violence, research has it that 99% of them has, has to do largely with finances. Somehow, when you do the investigation, you do the review, you see that about 99% of them, domestic violence, physical violence, even some sexual violences are triggered from issues of dissatisfaction from the area of financial abusers. So that's why it's important you get legal support, you get therapy support, you get proper support. Hallelujah. You must know that financial abuse is a crime. So it's not something to keep quiet about. It's a crime, so it must be reported on time so that help can come your way. Number three, don't do anything until you can do it safely. That's why we say on this number three, you may need to hire an attorney, that is a lawyer. We have some lawyers that work with our offices that will work with you for free, that will help you, give you some level of counseling for free, that will guide you on what to do. Depending on the severity of the cases, our office can be of help to you in that area. They have some services that are for free, they have some that you have to pay for. So if you're in that space, please speak up. That's what we are looking at in these editions. Please speak up on time. Don't stay in that unhealthy space. Don't die there. We have heard of cases where a partner kills the other partner because of the fact that they have access. They know they have access to funding. They want to take away from them in an unlawful way, in a criminal and in a sinful way. Please don't stay in that space. Number four, on how to get help. Through this support, you may recover your money back. Through all the something we've talked about, the first one we talked about, we talked about peaceful dialogue. When things are discussed peacefully, you can come up with with an agenda or a consensus and an agreement that, oh, when money comes into the family, this is what we do. You give me this percentage, I take this percentage, we use this percentage for the children. Dialogue will work. We have said that. We said in some cases dialogue don't work. When they don't work, seek help from financial expert. Number three, we say seek help from legal expert. So we are saying number four, we say sometimes through this support you have enlisted, you could get your resources back, you get your money back, and that's good news. The number five is that there are some cases you may not even get your money back. In some other cases you may not even recover your money back, but even if you don't recover your money back, at least you have prevented financial abuse from happening again and again and again in your life. You may get the money back, you may not get the money back, but it's important to stop the continuity of financial abuse and abuses in your life. I have few words of comfort before I pray and I close this discussion. Number one, to be able to receive help for the challenges you are going through in your relationship, particularly in the area of finances that we are looking at today, it may be very challenging. Change can be very scary, and living a situation that once felt comfortable may be very much more challenging, but it's worth the while. Don't keep quiet. That's my first word of comfort. Don't keep quiet. Don't stay in that space. Arise, speak up, receive help. Analyze your situation and call for help on time. You deserve to feel safe and be surrounded by people who care about you. You deserve to know what is what it takes to take care of yourself without depending on other people for your life and livelihood. It's important you take charge of your life. I speak to a lot of ladies, a lot of people, and one of the challenges I tell them, I speak to them about, is they need to take up their life, to take up their life, to take up their finances, build up your resources again. Don't, it's good to be married, but marriage does not meet all your needs, as it were. You to do things with your hand, build up your life, build up your finances, seek counseling, go for seminars, read a book, and be in charge of your life. Stop depending on other people. The only one that we can depend on totally is God. I thank God for the spaces of husbands in our life, particularly Christians and godly men. We thank God for their support for their wives and the rest of it. But you cannot always depend totally on your husband. Please depend on God and build up your own skills too. Build up your ability, build up your personality. Begin to, create things that will allow you to move on and move up in life. Number two word of comfort I'll have is that it's only when you are out of that situation that you will be able to take steps to rebuild both your credit and your financial stability. Now, if it's a situation that is very, very severe, you will be able to get enough support and enough help, from financial institution, from legal institution, for you to be able to come out of that space. Or you must take that responsibility. Number three, don't let fear of the unknown keep you in a bad situation. Speak up on time. Even if it's a husband that is abusing you financially, it could be talked to. Your pastors or your imam or your family members should talk to him. Could talk to her in case it's the woman that is abusing the husband. We've seen all manner of cases. So such people could be talked to, could be spoken with. Support could be legal. Someone can be brought in so that they can be peace, they can be progress, they can be joy again, they can be productivity. Hallelujah. So don't let fear keep you stay in that place. The final thing I would want to talk about is that our office offer all these services. So I encourage you, please keep subscribing, keep sharing our messages, keep sharing all our posts, keep chatting us. Our phone line is on 0803 494 3974. We do both online counseling and offline counseling. There are a group of counselors that will be available to talk to you, to support you, to counsel you, to help you. What are we saying in a nutshell? Do not keep quiet. Speak up on time when help can still reach you. Don't stay in that unhealthy space. Don't stay in abusive relationship. Abusers do not just stop being abusers, and that includes financial abusers. They don't just stop. They've been enjoying the resources all their lives. Please speak up on time, seek help on time, seek solution on time, and by God's grace, I know solution will come your way in Jesus' name. I pray that the peace of God will be upon you. I pray that the help of God will be available to you. I pray that the hand of God will reach out to you. It shall be well with you. Please continue to share our post and continue to like what we are doing. We love you. God bless you. See you some other time. Have a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful day. God bless you.